Hello YouTube. On the territory of the Kolomenskaya Museum Reserve in Moscow, there's a famous Golos ravine, at the bottom of which lie two mysterious stones. They are called Maiden Stone and Goose Stone. Among modern youth, these stones have acquired cult significance. It is believed that they help childless couples to have a child. The strange shape of the Maiden Stone is striking. It looks like several boulders that seem to have baked together. Now, Golosov ravine is also known as Vlasov ravine. It's a deep ravine in Moscow, Russia, between the Kolomenskaya hill and Yakovo hill. The ravine has several springs and a brook streaming at its bottom. Up in the ravine, on the left side of it, there is a neo-pagan shrine dedicated to the sacred stones of Kolomenskaya. Basically, again, there are a pair of local sandstone rocks of peculiar shape located high in the ravine. Some sources claim them to be granite boulders of glacial origin, but this seems to be a misconception. Both rocks have traces of manual processing, both old, exaggerating the shape of the stones, and new, because they have been vandalized by modern graffiti. Initially, the stones were located further down in the ravine, closer to the springs, but during one of the renovations of the park in the Soviet era, they were dragged to the place where they reside now. Since ancient times, this ravine has always been a bit of mystery. Inexplicable things constantly occurred here in the past. For example, one amazing story was described in the 17th century sources. In 1621, a small detachment of Tatar horsemen turned up at the walls of the Tsar's palace in Kolomna. They were surrounded and captured immediately by the Tsar's warriors who guarded the entrance to the palace. Being lost and disoriented, they claimed to be a part of the armies of the Crimean Khan Devlet I, who had attacked Moscow in 1571. Sensing defeat and wanting to avoid capture, they retreated into the Golosov ravine, where they were quickly enveloped in a thick mist. And if you remember my previous videos about time travel, fog or mist play an important role in all of this. Spending what seemed like only a few minutes finding their way through the fog, they emerged to find that 50 years had already passed. One of the captives, named Murza, said that the mist was unusual, of light green color, but none of them paid attention to it due to fear of the chase by the Russians. Tsar Mikhail Fedorovich ordered to undertake an inquiry, which showed that the men probably told the truth. I can only imagine the methods used to get the truth out of them, considering the time and the tools available. Anyway, they had even old-fashioned armor and ammunition, mostly from 1560s or 1570s types. Well, this was not the only reported incident of time travel in the area around the Golosov ravine. In the 19th century, such cases were documented by the Moscow province's police office. One story was published in the newspaper Moskovsky Vedomosti in July of 1832. Two local peasants, Arkhip Kuzmin and Ivan Bachkarev, had a big night out at a neighboring village and decided to take a shortcut to the ravine on their way home. There was the same thick green mist that filled the ravine in the 17th century, where a strange corridor suddenly appeared. The peasants stepped down into it and met a large and hairy man-like creatures who managed to put them back on the right path via hand signals. So there was a positive contact. A few minutes later, the peasants left the ravine and continued on their way. When they eventually came to their native village, it turned out that the 2 decades had already passed. Their wives and children did not recognize them. The incident was reported to the police, who conducted an investigation during which one of the men dissolved into fog and never returned. Well, down through the centuries, people have been they observed periodically hairy, human-resembling creatures around Golosov Ravine. Such cases were mentioned not only in the ancient and medieval chronicles, but also in the Soviet media. Large, hairy, man-like creatures most likely represent the Leshy, a sort of Bigfoot from the Slavic mythology, who is more than an ape and more of woodland spirit than the mortal creatures. In 1926, a policeman reported seeing a hairy wild man over 2 meters tall in the Golosov Ravine. The policeman pulled out his pistol, but the strange creature instantly dissolved into the fog. Local school children joined the search for the unusual visitor, but they were unable to detect his traces. However, one of the official Moscow newspapers published the article "Young Pioneers," that's like Soviet Boy Scouts, are capturing Leshy, and it was composed by journalist Ryazantsev. And now, let's move on to the Russian Far East. I have told you so much about the Kuril Islands and the Sea of Okhotsk. Please see my videos in the playlist, and I place the URL in the description to this video. Here's another interesting report from the area. Russian tourists have discovered a rock with an unusual ornament on the Feklistov Island, Shantar Archipelago, Sea of Okhotsk. Experts' opinions were immediately divided. Some believe that the ornament is just a game of nature, while others have strengthened their opinion that the strange drawing is the work of human hands. There is also an opinion that the ornament is a script left by ancient civilization. And please see my video in that playlist about the Rashua Island and the remnants of underwater civilization, or underwater remnants of an ancient civilization. Very interesting. Anyway, the most unique thing about this find is that despite the fairly frequent visits by travelers to the Feklistov Island, no one has noticed anything unusual on that rock until now. The islands there are full of secrets, and they have been craved by the Japanese, the Americans, and the Russians. Look at what is taking place at the island of Matua. This is incredible, and I've been trying to call attention to it through my presentations, through my interviews, videos, and so forth. This may be one of the biggest secrets in the beginning of the 21st century. But let's see what happens. Now let's go back to European Russia. Well, this news appeared in November 2013 and went actually almost unnoticed. During excavations in Vologda, local archaeologists discovered a mysterious stone artifact about the size of a matchbox. It has holes of regular shape, images of geometric shapes, and mysterious signs. According to archaeologist Natalia Vasilyeva, there were no similar finds or discoveries in the Vologda region before. She claims that it may be a part of a mechanism, a navigation device, or an object of pagan worship. The mysterious artifact was found in the cultural layer of the 18th centuries, but perhaps it has a more ancient origin. A note from 2013 ended with the fact that a laboratory study of the mysterious find was to be conducted soon. But there is no later information about this Vologda artifact. What was it? There's so many strange findings in Russia, because the soil, it's like history goes back thousands of years, and civilizations came and went. But let's go now to the Russian north. There are a lot of inaccessible and unexplored places in Russia, and sometimes literally by chance, and usually exclusively from the airplane or helicopter, you can find something amazing on its territory. For example, these are the mysterious circles in the swamp. There is a remote area in the vicinity of the Pinega River in the Arkhangelsk region, but the explorer who sighted them did not confirm or deny that the mysterious circles are located there. The coordinates provided at the same time point to the impassable Arkhangelsk marshes or swamps, but he also pointed to the Evenki Taiga or boreal forest. However, the Arkhangelsk researchers went to the specified coordinates, but it turned out that it was very difficult to see anything there because of the impassable swamps. Nevertheless, they took a photo that indicates that there is some mysterious formation in that place. The most curious thing is that not far from the specified point on the map, there are other, no less mysterious structures that are clearly visible on the map. Well, let me tell you more about this. Pinezhsky district, also known as Pinezhia, is an administrative district, one of the 21 in the Arkhangelsk Oblast in Russia. Municipally, it is incorporated as Pinezhsky Municipal District. It is located in the northeast of the oblast and borders on the Mezhensky District in the north, Leshukonsky District, and Udorsky District of the Komi Republic in the east. Verkhne Toyemsky District in the south, Vinogradovsky District in the southwest, Kholmogorsky District in the west, and with Primorsky District in the northwest. Its administrative center is the rural locality, a selo, like a village, of Karpogory. Now, here are some hints. If you decide to come there with caution, of course, you leave the hospitable Arkhangelsk, you go to the completely wild, remote areas of Pinezhia and Mezheny. On the way, you will stop in Lavli. There is one of the most ancient wooden churches in Russia. You can also visit the St. Basil's Church in the former village of Chukcherma, now Tarasova. The last point of the itinerary, the Golubino Park Hotel, is only 200 kilometers away. That's the last hotel you can find. But the legends about the Arkhangelsk Pinega Mezhen road are scary. This is a grader road which was poured out not so long ago. Previously, it was possible to get to Mezhen by car only through the winter roads through the marshes. I mean, don't go there in the summer. Although many people do not consider a grader to be a road. If you do make it there, the rest you will find out from the locals. Ask them about very interesting caves in the area, but do not try to go there without a local guide. But the swamps, please do not try to go there even with a guide, as it is not safe. There is something there, we just don't know what. I will try to bring you more information about these mysterious circles in the future. It's really, really amazing about things sometimes you can find in the wilderness of Russia, as you can see from my videos. I thank you for your attention to my work. If you can support me, please do so through the links in the description to this video. Please subscribe to my channel and tell others.